False resistance. The liberal Catholics doing the synagogue's dirty work.
Vive le Christ roi!
The greatest threat to the Catholic Church is not merely external enemies, not the Synagogue of Satan, not Freemasons, not globalist elites. The greatest danger comes from within, from those who profess to love Christ, who were entrusted to guard his flock, yet who betray him through compromise and cowardice. Satan has really succeeded in pulling off a masterstroke. He is succeeding in having those who keep the Catholic faith condemned by the very people who should be defending and propagating it. Archbishop Lefebvre said this on October 13th in 1974. These liberal and modernist Catholics, which include what must be called Ecumenists, pose the greatest danger. They speak of tradition while submitting to modernist Rome. They expose deception in the world, but remain deceived about Vatican II. They condemn globalist puppets while obeying modernist bishops who serve the same system. To fight the Synagogue of Satan while defending Vatican II is self-deception. To call out globalist lies while submitting to modernist Rome is hypocrisy. Today, we expose this contradiction and force a choice. Remain in deception or reject all deception and stand fully with tradition. False traditionalists rightly expose Judeo-globalist deception. They have rightly identified the Synagogue of Satan as rabbinical Judaism, as well as its agents, Freemasons and globalists. They warn about false messianic figures, deception in politics, and one-world government. They reveal how elites manipulate the masses through media, finance, and control. And yet, they refuse to reject Vatican II. This is completely illogical. The modernist Vatican II Church is part of the same deception. We refuse, on the other hand, and have always refused to follow the Rome of neo-modernist and neo-Protestant tendencies, which were clearly evident in the Second Vatican Council, and after the Council, in all the reforms which issued from it. Archbishop Lefebvre said this in his declaration of 1974. Vatican II was not a Catholic council. It was the religious arm of the globalist New World Order, replacing the kingship of Christ with religious relativism. To reject globalist deception while defending Vatican II is like denouncing Satanism while defending Satan's lies. If Vatican II was just another council, why did the enemies of the Church celebrate it? The Freemasons declared Vatican II a victory. The Synagogue of Satan praised the Conciliar Church for rejecting anti-Semitism. The globalist elite called it the spiritual revolution needed for a new world order. Why? Because Vatican II was a revolution against the kingship of Christ. This Reformation, born of liberalism and modernism, is poisoned through and through. It derives from heresy and ends in heresy, even if all its acts are not formally heretical. Archbishop Lefebvre again said this in his declaration of 1974. They engineered Vatican II to be their victory over Christendom. And today, we see the fruits of their revolution. A church that bows to world leaders instead of to Christ the King. Many Catholics believe they are resisting Vatican II because they attend the Indult Mass, follow figures who critique Francis, but remain within the modernist structure. They pretend Vatican II can be interpreted correctly instead of rejected entirely. They are wrong. False resistance has two major branches, both of which serve the modernist revolution. The Indulterers, the Ecclesia Dei communities, created by modernist Rome to ensure that those attached to the Latin Mass submit to Vatican II and accept the legitimacy of the conciliar church. This includes the now neo-SSPX after Bishop Fallet's 2012 practical agreement with Rome. The SSPX ceased to be an uncompromising resistance and instead aligned itself with modernist Rome. And Sedevacantism, a reactionary dead end that began with Father Joaquin Arriaga, later formalized when Archbishop Thuc publicly proclaimed that the Holy See is vacant. Instead of defending the church, Sedevacantists declare it gone. Instead of resisting modernist Rome, they run into the abyss of total fragmentation. Neither of these positions serve Catholic tradition. Both positions neutralize true resistance. Now, our disobedience is motivated by the need to keep the Catholic faith. The orders being given to us clearly express that they are being given to us in order to oblige us to submit without reserve to the Second Vatican Council, to the post-conciliar reforms. It is impossible for us to do this. Archbishop Lefebvre said this on March 29th of 1988. Let's make something absolutely clear. Yes, at the highest levels, the Synagogue of Satan orchestrates the global apostasy, pushing its revolutionary agenda through Freemasonry, finance, media, and subversion. But the foot soldiers of this destruction, the ones actually implementing their plans within the church, it's not some Ron Finkelstein in Tel Aviv counting shekels at the meat market who's dismantling Catholic tradition. It's not Moshe Goldsteinberg in Brooklyn sipping matzo ball soup plotting how to tweak the Douay-Rheims Bible. It's not the Chabad Lubavitchers twirling their sidelocks, casting Talmudic spells to infiltrate the SSPX. No, the real ones dismantling Catholic tradition are liberal Catholics, useful idiots of the synagogue, who don't just fall for modernism, but actively enforce it. They defend Vatican II while pretending to resist it. They go to approved Latin masses while swearing loyalty to modernist Rome. They parrot half-truths about the Synagogue of Satan while obeying its conciliar foot soldiers. They are not just deceived, they are collaborators, unwitting agents, the perfect pawns. And that is the brutal reality. False traditionalists must choose: reject all deception, including Vatican II, the Indulterers, including the now Neo-SSPX, and Sedevacantism. Or continue to call out deception while remaining in deception. We cannot possibly abandon. We cannot possibly change our faith. We have our credo, and we will keep it till we die. Archbishop Lefebvre in 1976. No more excuses. No more lukewarmness. No more pretending you don't see the contradiction. You either fight for Christ the King or you serve the revolution. There is no third option.